Hey, welcome back to my channel. Got a little something on the bench for you. So this is a organized pile of madness, if you will. So basically, things coming to PropsOff. I wanted to kind of go through some of these projects that I'm working on. I've got quite a few things going on. This guy here and that guy over there. And basically, I'm going to clean this up, and then I'm going to pull each project one by one and kind of go through what I'm doing. So that way, if you have questions prior to me making the video, I can answer those questions. So in the comments of this video, if you, post a question about something that I'm working on here, I can try to maybe in the field testing or things, while I'm out in the field. I try to do this every quarter of projects that I know I'm going to work on with the channel. And that way you can ask in comments and say, hey, what does this do or whatever. And sometimes when I'm filming at the field, I can answer those questions right then. So I got quite a few things to cover. I've got the ultimate charging station I'm going to just briefly mention, and then things. So basically, these are things coming to the channel. I just wanted you to be aware of what I'm doing, and should be interesting. So stick around. The first project up I'm going to be working on is going to be a new goggle battery for my HDOs. I have a goggle battery here, so I made this out of the remains of the box goggles that I have. The E-Sheen, you can't even fit it in frame. They're so gigantic, they're huge. They're such massive box goggles. But I tell you what, it's like an IMAX theater for the spectator. So that's why I like them. And they're great goggles. They're still working. After all these years, they're great goggles. So I made a new pack for it because the other one was kind of bleeping out at the end of the year. I have to admit, with COVID, it not really been doing a whole lot of spectator goggle wearing. People don't really want to put the goggles on. But that's what this is for, to plug in for the spectator goggles. Because basically, if somebody looks at me long enough, I walk over to them and say, hey, I'll hold my drone out and I'll say, hey, you ever seen a freestyle drone or race drone or anything like that, a quadcopter? And a lot of them will say, oh, I had one from Target or I got one from Walmart. And then once they see it, they're like, okay, well, I didn't have anything like that. And it's like, have you ever seen FPV? No, of course not. It's like, put these goggles on. Or what I've been doing because of the pandemic and everything is I put the goggles, I got a chunk of foam I carry, and put the goggles up on their hood of their car, and then I put the goggle on their windshield so they can see the screen. That's pretty cool. So that's what this is for. But now I'm going to make one for myself. I'm carrying a 5200 pack in my pocket, and I think I'm going to carry one of these on the back of my head. My buddy Muggachucka, he's going to put some on his, or he already did, and he's kind of talked me into doing it, and I think it's a great idea. So basically, I've torn this apart because so don't throw these away. This is useless because this pack is worthless. After all this time, this pack is done. It won't take a charge. It lasts like 5 minutes. And I'm not going to use the USB charging. I'm not going to use the little button with the indicator lighting. What I am going to use is the board here. And I'm going to use this barrel, and I'm going to use this small X plug. So I'm going to basically unsolder this, and I'm going to solder this up with these packs, and then I'm going to make extensions to go to, I'm going to extend these to go around from the back of my head to the goggles. Because I don't really like having that pack on the side of my ear. So that should be a neat little project. And then here's how you charge them. I have a video. Should I link it? I'll put a link right here for the video of how I charge these batteries and where you get this. But you just plug this barrel in, stick it in the wall, and charge it up. And this will be no different. So 3400 mAh should last a good long time. Okay, and that's Li-ion, not LiPo. All right. So that's project number one. Let me grab some more stuff. All right, project number two. I have here my my Source One freestyle beater. This one I don't care too much. if you care, it's hard to say. If you care too much about your quadcopter, you're not going to do awesome tricks. You're gonna just be too. I have a race quad. I get so nervous. I don't want to do freestyle tricks, and I don't know. It's a psychological thing maybe. But this one I don't mind thrashing them around a bit. And I'm gonna make another one because this weekend I was out flying and I ripped my receiver antennas off and I couldn't fly this very far and it was kind of lame. So I'm gonna build another one. But the difference is that I'm gonna do another Source One frame. I'm gonna do the Strix motors. And I'm going to do old school parts. So check it out. I got my PDB. So this will be the power distribution going to individual ESCs. These are fly color 30 amp ESCs. And I am going to, well, there's the PDB that I'm using, Maytech. And I am going to do used XM Plus with aftermarket antennas. I'm going to do Strix motors. Yeah, it's going to be a really cool build, and I hope to film the whole build and bind it up to the Radio Master and take that out for a rip. So stay tuned for stuff on that. I don't know, maybe you can help me out in the channel with the comments, and I don't know if I want to do an actual build where I solder everything up or if I do an overview. I haven't decided yet. My build videos just don't seem to get that much attention, and when it takes me 15 hours of editing and like 6-7 days of filming, it just kind of doesn't seem worth it. So I might do an overview. And then the next thing I wanted to talk about, actually, I don't know if I'm going to do a video on it. I may do a separate video on it because it's that important to me. The original gimbals on here are just really, really long. They stick up way too high, and I'm a thumber, and as you can see, my hands are decent sized, okay, but my thumbs ain't very long. And my tendon in my thumb would pop when I would do a real hard maneuver. And then I noticed I was holding my hand up and I was moving my whole, I don't know, it's just kind of weird how I had to fly, and I wasn't really liking it. So I figured out a way to shorten them up, and then also I got these new gimbals. And I'll show more about that. But man, I tell you what, I flew quite a few packs this weekend, and I'm really liking them. So I'm going to test them out a little more, see if I like them, and if I do, I'm going to do a video on it. So pretty rad looking stick ends. There is a bottom part. I'll show that in the video, but that's something coming up. So if you have any questions, comments, about that, let me know. I've had here's the next project. I've had quite a few people email me or private message me or even leave it in comments. You want to know more about the range of this guy. This is a really, really neat receiver for the money. This is nano sized, so it's the same size as the Crossfire Nano. It's also the same size as a D-pinned RXSR. And this is Radio Master's R81. It's 8 channels, so it's great for small quadcopters, right? I mean, you only need 8 channels anyway. And then it has a 9th channel that has true telemetry. So it actually, the 9th channel is RSSI, so your signal strength between your transmitter and your receiver is on a 9th channel. So it's true telemetry, so you can have the readouts on your radio, which is really nice, especially if you're flying at line of sight, just doing some stuff. You can pull a trigger and it'll tell you your RSSI. Or you can have a warning set like I do. I have an alarm set, so if the RSSI drops below a certain amount, it says warning and then critical, and then you're probably going to desync or loss RX. So a lot of people were asking before I go on about that. No commercials here, man. I don't get nothing for free. But really cool for $7 or $8. So I got that receiver in a Rex 80. I've got a video I'll try to post right here about it. And then I've got it in this as well. This is my 5-inch super duper mega ultra light 5-incher. I tried to come up with as long name as I could, and that was it. So anyway, more on the receiver that's in here, and then this little guy's up here because he has the XM Plus. So we're going to do like a shootout. We'll do like an RSSI value. I'll kind of fly, you know, I can't fly either one of them to its maximum, because then that would be beyond line of sight for me. So what I'm going to do is I'll just do an RSSI value in the OSD and fly them, you know, around a large park and see who performs better. But it's not an exact match, but hey, you know what? It's kind of a cool thing for me to do. So we're going to mess with that a little bit more. And I really like flying this guy. He's not my favorite 3-incher, but he's his twin brother. So anyway, and then also this is next up. I'm going to do more testing on this. I know that if you're familiar with my channel, you know that I've kind of ragged a little bit on this frame. I'm kind of aggravated. This is, oops. Yeah, there we go. This is the front of it, and it broke off that end. Okay, so after I got all the guts moved over to the second frame I had, I just took and broke that off. It wasn't as easy as that. I mean, it wasn't that simple. I mean, I could right now just snap that right off there. As soon as you hear a crack, it just pops right off. And if you look, it's kind of like, you know, the breakaway boards are like that. You just drill enough holes close enough together, that stuff it's breakaway. You just snap it. It's simple. That's what's going on here. So I hope I don't crash this thing, because I'm probably going to be facing with the same thing. But on the channel, I was trying to figure out a way to show you, you know, how much torque leverage. I'm not sure exactly how to translate that over film. I'm not that smart. So I would like to show you how much pressure it takes to snap that end off. And I'm not sure who manufactures it. I got it from Genius LEDs. I sent out communication to them a couple of times. I haven't heard nothing back, so here's what it is. But I am going to do more testing on this. I have done a few things in here to try to get the video as perfect as I can possibly get it with a whoop camera. So there's more on the channel coming up about that. I'm not sure how far I'm going to take this. I would like to get a really, really nice tune. And then show you how I set my rates up on it. It's not ready yet for that. I'm still having some issues with the video. It may be leading back to this whoop camera, which I really want to hold on to, because the weight of this thing is so amazing. It's like 200 grams all up in the air. Like this thing here is like 120 some grams right here sitting. And with the 650 4S on this thing, it's really a fun quad to fly. But I got more things to do. I'm not ready to say, yeah, build one. It's so much fun. I don't want to say that yet because it's not ready. So, and something else I might address on the channel is capacitance. We got some big honking 1,000 microfarad. And then I've got some 470s in here. So on this next build, you know, I've got the PDB here, and then out on the ESC itself over here, I'm going to solder in the 470. Okay, these are just 25 volt 470 microfarad. And then on the main XT60, I'm looking at putting one of these on. And we're going to see if that really, really helps. And then there's a bit of filtration in this as well. The Maytech makes a pretty good PDB. So I'm kind of excited about getting some really clean video with this second basher I want to build. So I might be looking at doing a little more of that. The only thing I could say about, I don't know if I need to do a separate video on capacitance and how it works. But basically, the materials inside the capacitor act like a filter. But mainly it's a shock absorber. So as you're punching around, messing around, the voltage stays consistent, because DC voltage doesn't like to have movement. Okay, it doesn't like spikes. DC voltage likes to be very smooth. The capacitor continues to make that smooth. I don't know, maybe I will do a video on that. I'll have to get some diagrams and some drawings and stuff like that, but basically the capacitor is important, because whenever you're messing with 4S voltage, you're talking 16.8 volts. And when you punch the throttle and you let off the throttle, you're kind of draining, you're draining the sink, and then you're filling it really quick. And the water's splashing all over the place in your video. Well, if you put a capacitor in there, it's almost like putting a towel over your sink. So you drain it real fast and fill it real fast, but the towel kind of keeps everything smooth. I don't know if I explained it any better, but anyway, so those will be going into the build as well. I know I had a couple questions about that. All right, the next little tidbit I'm going to be working on the channel is an old, can I call this an engine and transmission I pulled out of one of my older quads? This is the guts out of one of my little 3-inchers. I'm going to put this into another build. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this old stuff and I'm going to put some work into it. I'm going to unsolder the whole thing as if it's brand new. I'm going to reflash the firmware to it. I'm going to bring this old stack up to date on the channel. I'm going to do it in a 3-incher, a little 3-inch race quad. I don't have all the parts I need to build that yet, and I'm not sure what my budget's looking like right now. So it might take me a minute for this to happen, but it should be kind of cool for the future of people like buying used quads that are just worn out, but the parts are, good, and they want to it's like, man, I just want to redo it. They could watch that video and know how to do it. So that's going to be a neat video, but I got to get parts for that. Well, that kind of covers everything on the bench. So let's jump over here and check out the ultimate charging station just real quick. What I'm going to do is kind of go through all the features this thing has. So here I just have a couple photographs for you to look at. Check out my first ever stop motion. If you haven't already, I made a stop motion video of this thing like crawling across the table and opening it up. It was really cool. I mean, had a lot of fun with that project. But I want to go through everything that, the capabilities of this isn't just a 3 charger system. This thing can do a whole lot more. So I'm going to go through this and kind of go through what all its capabilities are and why I built it. There's actually a pretty significant reason. I mean, it was like hobby dying decision. I really was just tired of the battery management. It was kind of wrecking the hobby for me. I like to fly many quads, I want to bring like 3 quads or 4 quads with me. I want to fly a 1S. I want to fly a 3S. I want to fly a 4S, a 5S, or whatever quadcopter I have. But a lot of times I just didn't want to deal with the battery management. That's done. Because of this, I'm back in it. So, hey, I appreciate you watching this video. I think this is really cool how some of these projects are going to come together for the next quarter. And, if you have comments, questions, concerns, leave it in there. And, if this was entertaining or you're looking forward to things on the channel, subscribe, give me a thumbs up. If you hated this, man, you give me a thumbs down. It all works. Enjoy the breeze.